Thank you, Cameron. Anybody read the Daily Mail? You never put your hand up, you're a liar, because it comes up on all our feeds. I was reading it this morning, and the headline was, "I watched my friends sleep with married men and do coke." And I wasn't aware that that was inappropriate behaviour. So at the end of this, I've got a list of apologies, if you could just stand around. But something that I think that the article really missed out on was the benefits to cocaine. And the first time, and only time, in case this gets back to my mother, that I snorted cocaine, I knew for sure that I needed to get an ADHD assessment. Because for the first time in my whole life, I had no thoughts. And I had a nap, which was very different to what everybody else around me was doing. And I had been suspicious before, mainly because my brother told me every day of my life that I was definitely on the spectrum somewhere. But like most women, I got diagnosed much later in life because most research is on boys when it comes to ADHD and autism. And this was very apparent when I worked in a special needs school here in Westminster. If you've ever, people say that working in special needs is very rewarding, but I can confirm that it's not. At all. It's just, that's how they justify minimum wage. And I was in the non-verbal class, so these kids were between 11 and 13, and you can't say you've had a hectic day at work until you've worked in a non-verbal class. I was punched, kicked, hit, spewed on, farted on. People just took their clothes off in front of me at random points in the day, and that was all before I left the staff room. But I could tell that most research was done on boys because the whole class was boys except for one girl. And one of the most common ways that we calm children down who are within this class was we had this vibrating pillow that you hold it up to their chest really tight because the vibration distracts them from their emotions. So you hold it up to their chest and it calms them down. But after the first week, I sort of pointed out to the head teacher, had she noticed that the only girl in the class sat on the pillow? She never held it to her chest. And she said, yes, well, it really calms her down. And I thought, I bet it does. She looks very calm, in fairness. But I thought maybe I'm overreacting. I thought, I'll give it a shot. So I got one of the pillows and I sat down next to it and sort of gave it a go. And I sat there like 10 seconds. If I sat there for 11, I would have definitely lost my job because it was the most powerful vibration I've ever felt. So I've got 2 now from Amazon. But we don't think of girls as sexual beings like boys. A clitoris is a clitoris from day one. It doesn't just appear when you're 18. And when I was in primary school, the second Harry Potter film came out. And Warner Brothers came out with all this new merchandise, and one of them was a replica of Harry's broom. And it was recalled after about 4 weeks because it was a vibrating broom. And a lot of little girls loved it, and a lot of parents are very mad about this. When I was a little girl, all we had was the back of our heels until that broomstick came out. But apparently their justification was that it was meant to replicate what it felt like to fly, like Harry did. And I wasn't aware that they had vibrating brooms in Harry Potter. No wonder Quidditch was so popular, I thought. But we don't really know a lot about women's bodies in many ways in the medical world. My last job, I was a web designer and I worked for a health organisation. And the first task that I was given was to review the medical advice pages and just to clean them up a little bit. And I got to the conjunctivitis page, which is infection of the eye, and I called the copywriter. I said, can you just read out the symptom that you've got written here? And she said, I don't really know what the problem is. And I said, well, have you read it? And she goes, well, yeah, a discharge of pus in the eye is a symptom of conjunctivitis. I said, yes, it is, but you've written pussy discharge. And she said, no, it's pussy discharge. But I said, yes, but how do you spell pussy? Because to me, that reads pussy discharge. just to be clear, pussy discharge is not a sign of conjunctivitis or any infection at all. It is not a medical concern. If it is in your eye, there's two reasons. One, you forgot to clean up after a good night. Or two, you're doing acrobats. It's the only other reason I can possibly think of. But thank you all for listening, and I've got to recharge the batteries in my pillow tonight, so head out. Thank you.